Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Basketball Boxing. Now, man, Robert Helenius versus Adam Kownacki happened on the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury undercard, man, the trilogy. And man, I mean, in the first fight with Adam Kownacki and Robert Helenius, Adam Kownacki was controlling the fight early. He was going to the body, getting past his Helenius' jab, and he was in the fight. In fact, I thought he was winning the fight until he almost had Robert Helenius out of there, and then Helenius fired back, and basically, you don't when you fight an animal and it's almost dead, that's when it's most dangerous. Basically, that's what happened with the Nordic King. He was almost out of there, and then he went for broke, and he got Adam Kownacki out of there. Now, this second time around, man, Robert Helenius just controlled the distance, man. He controlled the distance and was throwing combinations on the outside, hitting Adam Kownacki with jabs and straight rights, and he was using his length. He looked a lot better in this fight than the first fight, and he made it look easy, man. He made it look real easy. And this was a statement fight from Robert Helenius to show that fight wasn't a fluke. This is the best I've seen Robert Helenius, man. And, he's always been a fighter who was really good, but he just didn't have the athleticism to really push his skill to the next level. And in this fight, he showed that when he's athletically there, boxing-wise, that he's a better fighter for it, period. I always thought Robert Helenius looked real soft, and now that he's actually in good shape, he can jab more, he can throw right hands more, he can just do more, right? What separates fighters at the highest level is not the boxing per se, it's more doing the right things more often. And when you're in athletic shape like Robert Helenius is for this rematch with Adam Kownacki, he was doing the right things at a consistent pace, and it was regular, right? It was so much so that when Robert Helenius was hitting and moving around and circling Adam Kownacki, he was throwing jabs, hitting him with straight rights, hitting him with uppercuts, right? I mean, Adam Kownacki, he had to look for so many things, and he really couldn't do anything, because he couldn't walk forward at an angle because Robert Helenius hit him with a left uppercut, and then if he tried to come at another angle, Robert Helenius hit him with the right uppercut. I really didn't see Adam Kownacki even land one clean blow to Robert Helenius this whole fight. This was definitely a complete destruction of Adam Kownacki, man. I do not know where his career goes from here. He looks like he's regressed to the lowest level I've ever seen him. I'm not sure if this is because he looked bad or maybe because Robert Helenius looked that good. But I've seen Adam Kownacki before fight elite level opponents, and his defense, he's usually more defensively sound than what he was against Robert Helenius. So, yeah, I didn't like what I saw from Adam Kownacki. Adam Kownacki beat fighters like Chris Ayola, right? Beat guys like Charles Martin, right? Walked through Gerald Washington. So he's fought tall guys before who know how to use their height. So I was puzzled by how badly beaten he was getting beat by Robert Helenius. But let's give Robert Helenius more credit for just being a better fighter than maybe Adam Kownacki wasn't just beaten bad. Maybe Robert Helenius just came in a better form tonight. So yeah, man, I'm probably gonna talk about it in another video too. This reminds me of the situation with in the same undercard, Efe Jaba versus Frank Sanchez. The Cuban fighter completely dismantled Efe Jaba. Wasn't even a close fight. Efe Jaba maybe landed one clean punch, but this was polar opposites actually. You actually had Efe Jaba being the taller, longer fighter, getting outboxed by a smaller, better boxing Cuban. So that was definitely a fight to watch, man. Those counter shots from my boy Frank Sanchez were sharp. They're deadly sharp. And Efe Jaba, he was taking the punches, but he wasn't really trying to. He was taking the punches, but he didn't really impose himself. Maybe he felt the punches and he knew that if he tried to get too reckless, he'll get hurt. But he did get dropped in that fight. But all that being said, man, it does show that, if you're a smaller fighter, there is ways to beat a taller fighter, right? But anyway, man, the Robert Helenius fight and Adam Kownacki fight, I talked about it a few times here and there. Robert Helenius was in Deontay Wilder's training camp, so he was training epically, right, over there in Alabama. Deontay Wilder is a loving person. He definitely gave him the business, and probably had him living with him at the time because Deontay Wilder was training. He built the actual training camp in his house. So that being said, man, you know, if a guy's gonna be training with you every day, I doubt that Robert Helenius is driving back and forth at a hotel somewhere. You know, Deontay Wilder has an estate. He has an extreme amount of land, and he has his house, basketball courts, shooting range, gyms. He has an extreme amount of land over there in Alabama. So, you know, did he have a guest house? I don't know, but you know, Robert Helenius basically lived and slept with Deontay Wilder. So, you know, if you're going to be fighting the former WBC champion who tied Muhammad Ali's record, you're definitely going to be in the best shape you can possibly come in at. And like I said earlier, this is the best Robert Helenius I've ever seen, and he's definitely going to be shaking the division up with that performance last night. That was a big one, man, and one for the books. Anyway, man, let me know you guys what about it, though. Adam Kownacki versus my boy Robert Helenius, the Nordic King. You know, he's looked good. He's looking great, hitting a lot harder. Only one thing I would like to see him is work on his speed. That's about it, man. He's looking great. Let me know you guys what about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geobasket Empire. Peace.